I like Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. How's it going, folks? This is Evio Leos from the Children's Court, and this is Tech Legion 19. I just came back from watching Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, and I want to say just off the top, contrary to what most of YouTube reviewers are saying, this movie was great. This movie was really well written. Save for like the plot holes and going off the rails when it comes to the lore and things. This was really well written for what J.J. Abrams had to deal with. The last movie was just ridiculously off the rails, and I had very low expectations going into this movie. And contrary to a lot of the other reviewers, I think the pace of this movie was just great. And for the time that they had to get it done, I think that it just kept going, and I never felt bored. Like, there was a time inside Avengers Endgame that I was just like, oh my goodness, could we just get to the good part? And I never felt like that inside the Star Wars movie. They were going from planet to planet, lightsaber battles just out the wazoo, Rey's. I mean, obviously she's overpowered. I understand, as far as being a Star Wars fan, I get what the disappointment is. I get why people are angry and upset about her. Just, they're acting like this is like Dragon Ball Z or something, like the more she fights, the more powerful she gets. And that's not supposed to be how Star Wars works. But I mean, it's a movie. I mean, what can you do? You can either just enjoy it, like that's what I had to do. I think the guy Alex, I'm referencing Angry Joe, I know, apologies, but the guy Alex said you have to turn your brain off. I think that was him. That's what I did. I kind of just stopped trying to look for the right thing to do and just took it for what it was. And what it was still very entertaining and cool. So I took it from that standpoint. Skipping from world, scenes, characters were cool. I liked Bobo Freaks. He was definitely making me laugh. There was a lady next to me that I think she was annoyed because I just kept on laughing every time Bobo Freaks said something. One thing that I took notice of was that Finn, he had no purpose. He could have literally not been inside this movie at all, and nothing would be different. Nothing would have changed. I've thought this from like the very beginning. Like, I was wondering if he was going to be somebody who was important to the story, or if he was just going to be a black person inserted into the movie to make it seem more diverse. And that's what it seems to have come to. Like, he's just there, just screaming and talking about we have to save somebody. He wasn't even like really good with any weapons or anything. He was just there, and it just didn't make sense for me. So it was always kind of cringe when his scenes came up, because it was just like, what are you doing here? I don't really like that piece of the movie very much. I think they could have did a lot more with Finn, even though they're trying to get at him having force abilities. They didn't get into it enough to make him matter inside this movie. Like, Poe, as much of a douchebag as he was pivotal. He was somebody who had to take up the mantle and really step up. And he had a lot of connections that were important to the storyline. Leia dies. Just the most ridiculous, stupid death in movie history. She lays down and says a word to Kylo Ren and passes away. Absolutely ridiculous, stupid, very cringy. So when she laid down and said one word to her son and just died, because they wanted to make like a emotional moment, I just laughed kind of because I couldn't believe. I mean, after they made her fly through space like Superman when she was supposed to be frozen and dead, I pretty much figured that they could take that anywhere. She went from being somebody who could survive the vacuum of space to somebody who would die for projecting herself across the galaxy a little bit. it doesn't really make too much sense. Kylo Ren, who's been my favorite character inside this saga thus far. I'm wearing all black in remembrance and out of respect for Kylo Ren and his storyline inside this movie, because it's the most honorable, and it was really the most Star Wars like inside this whole saga. He was the only real thing that was making this movie, or this series of movies, Star Wars, and he really just topped it off with this last one. Even though I was kind of angry that they turned him, well, he was turned good by his parents, and then he just died when he could have literally been the new Luke Skywalker, and Rey could have been the new Leia. They just would have both been Jedis this time, and it would have been the beginning of something explosive. Palpatine's daughter and a Skywalker daughter. I mean, even though he's Han Solo's kid, still Leia's son. So it would have been a Palpatine and a Skywalker, like beginning a new Star Wars saga, and that would have been incredible. All the haters would have had to eat dirt and wait for the next one to come out and see what the new threat was going to be. So I was disappointed when he just, passed away by giving his life force to Rey after she kills the most powerful Sith in the known galaxy or the known universe at the time. And even saying that, it gives more of an explanation to why Rey was so powerful from the beginning. She's a Palpatine. She is arguably stronger than Kylo Ren. You know what I'm saying? If what Palpatine is saying is correct, his power flows through her. So she was already as strong as Kylo Ren was by the time she met him. She had it inherently inside of her. She was just using it for good, and the darkness was coming out slowly as we saw this movie progressing. And even in previous movies, her anger is getting the best of her. So I'm not so angry about her being overpowered just because J.J. Abrams put that fix in. This is Palpatine's daughter. This is just not some regular kid. She probably was gonna be using force lightning and force choke and things of that nature by getting angry anyways, or being stimulated. I'm nitpicking at it a little bit, but I'm trying to give you guys some perspective. For those of you who haven't watched it yet, and I know this is full of spoilers and things of that nature, so you probably won't watch this unless you've already watched the movie. But for you guys who want to be able to like it and not feel like something's wrong with you because all of your favorite YouTubers hate it, or just the majority hate it in general, I'm giving a little bit of context to why these things may have happened. She's Palpatine's daughter, so her being able or having the strength to kill him isn't so far-fetched. Palpatine did justice to the movie. Again, contrary to a lot of what people were saying, him raising an army of thousands of Star Destroyers was a little over the top. I'm not here to defend the things that don't line up with the lores and the power scales and things of that nature. I'm just telling you, especially if you haven't seen the movie already, this movie is great. It's very entertaining. I really, really like the fact that Rey and Kylo's bond became something more than just them hating each other or being some kind of friendly duo right before he died. And again, that's why I was mad that he actually died, because I thought those two would have been a powerful force to carry this movie or this series into another age, into another generation. But we'll have to see. I mean, Rey's the the top dog now, and she's calling herself a Skywalker, and I don't I'm not angry about that either. A lot of people are angry that she adopted the name Skywalker, but and they're saying she should have just took the Palpatine name and transformed it into something good. But especially for people who are Star Wars fans, you should understand that you can't take the name Palpatine and try and transform that into something that is light. Palpatine is he said, "I am the Sith." He is the embodiment of the Sith, and that his name goes along with that. You can't say Rey Palpatine and it be something and it ever be something good. Not even to the people that are watching a movie, but inside the universe too. Nobody's gonna be like, Rey Palpatine, and everybody's happy to hear her name. They hear Palpatine and they're gonna tremble. So you have to understand her thought process. The character's thought process is, I cannot make anything good of something so evil. So I'll attach myself to the people that raised me, the people that trained me, my masters, and I'll walk that path of the light. I thought that was brilliant. I don't understand what all the hate is about. I think maybe the movie could have explained it more and had her explain that instead of me explaining that to you, and maybe you guys would have appreciated it more. But I could just read in between the lines and a lot of that stuff. I'm not, going through the whole entire movie. I just wanted to give an honest review on what I thought about it. I think this movie is great. I don't think that it was forced. I don't think that it was too much. I think that they got a little wacky with the lore and the rules of, power and things of that nature, but it still made the movie fun, and it was, very good time. Some of the jokes even hit. I mean, it's not a Marvel movie. I don't understand why everybody's trying to do those little Marvel moments. That's their thing. Make your own thing, and that doesn't belong in Star Wars. That was not inside the Revenge of the Sith. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't in Phantom Menace or anything. Like, the movies got to stop trying to. Don't become rap music, please. Movies, don't. Everybody can't start just doing the same thing. It's going to destroy the film industry. If I have another thought on this movie that I want to get across, I will come back and give it to you guys. But yeah, I liked Star Wars: The Rise of the Skywalkers. I could care less for Rey's political beliefs, but it didn't take away from the movie, and she even did a really awesome job at being a conflicted young Padawan that was trying to find out who she really was, and she came across really good. So that's it for this spoilers review of Rise of the Skywalker. I'm actually excited to see where they're gonna go with it, if they take it further. Hopefully they can create more characters like Kylo Ren, and if they're gonna phase out the old characters, which they should be doing, bring in people that are memorable like those old characters were. You know what I'm saying? Not make Finn something better, or kill him off. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep seeing Finn running and looking stupid while he's shooting like he's playing dodgeball or something. Make him something greater, or get rid of him and bring in more characters that are memorable, like Babu Freaks. Everybody loves Babu Freaks. He can be inside the next 3 movies, and he can grow and become a massive piece of it. So can Poe's girlfriend. I forgot her name. But those are people that have some good root inside of them that they could create a universe around. So yeah, let me end it, because I'll keep talking all night about this movie. I liked it. You should definitely go see it. Don't listen to the YouTubers. Go judge it for yourself. Alright, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.